So I guess it's all right. Good morning, Justin Capal, Cooney County Fire and Rescue.
John Gallatin, Cooney County Fire and Rescue.
We're just going to build a quick video on how to enter the run cards into the Spillman system. We've been asked a lot about helping with run cards, so we thought it'd be easier if we tried to document some of the systems we go through to build the run cards. And we'll talk just briefly at first about some of the new changes that are coming down with the version 7 ProQA update. So on the screen first, we'll have, we're going to edit this a little bit more than what you see here, and then we'll send it back out to the districts. But this is just a brief overview of the run cards that we currently have and are changing in the system for Cooney County. So for all the fire districts, you'll see the nature code name, and this is the name on this left column, how it's entered into Spillman. This is the recommended first alarm assignments for those, and then the subsequent alarms. This is how we do it at Cooney County Fire and Rescue. It's not the way that you have to do it. You can build these run cards any way that your district wants. I think the closer that we get to being similar, the easier and the better response it is for the citizens. So this is just kind of the template we're going to go through. This column D on the right, the one that's highlighted for you now, this is the number of calls those nature codes have had since we instituted the ProQA system in 2015, October of 2015. So you can see that there's been numbers in this column here do not represent, I didn't remove training calls and test calls. This is just the total number of times that nature code's been entered into Spillman since 2015, October 2015. So it just kind of gives you an idea about the priority to place on some of these run cards that we'll go through. The couple of big topics on these as you go down, let's find here's a Department of Lands one. So we're adding wildland fire. These are all going to be new run code. Department of Lands is a unit number in Spillman that we enter in the run card. So we'll do a wildland code is KCDV, another unit number right here, and that's the request of the Sheriff's Department as well. So Department of Lands asked for the DOL unit number, and the KCDV has been requested by the Sheriff's Department, and both of them have approved the use of those units for these calls. That doesn't mean they're going to come. They have their internal policies regarding that, but it gives them a heads up of what we're being dispatched to. This column on E, this one that's highlighted here, while it says, so these accident industrials are going to go away. We'll go through that. We're no longer going to have that. We're going to use trauma. These motor vehicle ones, we're still going to, in this list, on this spreadsheet, we're going to move them down to the bottom under the medical nature codes is all. So that's the only change for that. So we're still going to use those. They'll just be in a different place on the spreadsheet when we send it out. We're still going to use, but if we went down to utility problem down here, so these are the changes that we're going to make.
We talk about like suspicious package, we're going to add one. So like a Bravo response needs to be added for your suspicious package now. So we used to just have Charlie and Delta in the old, but now we're going to add a Bravo response. There was another one, if you look through the list, I don't remember exactly which one, there was an Echo response was added to one of them. So you also see those changes you'll need to add.
Very clear on what are new run cards, what needs to be removed, and then we'll show you how to edit the current run cards that are all staying the same. So with that, we'll switch over to Spillman, and John's going to take you through how to enter, modify, change run cards. When you go into your Spillman account, you'll have to enter. So just our normal Cooney Fire login doesn't allow us to edit or modify run cards. So we have a special account that Val gave us for entering and editing run cards. So if you don't have that, you'll have to get that from them.
So when you get into this account, this is what I believe your screen should look like. It looks a little different versus the generic login that you may have seen for your department uses. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go click the show the tree menus. Sometimes the icons have been added right here along the toolbar. You may or may not see the shortcuts there, but when we go in and we're going to add a unit, we're going to be looking here. Expand this out. We'll open the response plans table, and then you'll see a bunch of icons up here. You can search for one, modify, add. Those are kind of going to be the main functions that you want. Which one do we want to add?
Let's show them how to search.
Okay.
So if you want to see what run cards your district has, there you go.
Can you see it? So you can see what, not all these boxes will need to be filled in. There's just a certain amount that needs to be, information that needs to be included for you to look. So,
it's just in case you far zone. Call F, no nature code, so just search by zone.
Okay, I got you. So we'll just go F1G, that's our Station 3 area. And then we'll just go ahead and look. So then it'll just start to pull up all the nature codes that we have. And then if you wanted to scroll through these, you can hit F and jump over to there. And then you can hit enter and you can just start weaving through all the codes and you can see what is currently been entered for us. This is our F1G and Station 3 area, and you can just scroll through and see every run card that's ever been built and added to the system. This is where you get the whole list on what you need to add, modify, or delete, and what's in Spillman currently.
So if you click on list.
Yep. You can click on list, and then you can see the whole, gives you more of a snap or an overview, I guess. So it just depends on how they've been entered over the years. You're going to see some old run cards. You're going to see probably some newer, updated run cards. And at that point, this is where dispatch, right, asks us to go through and modify take out all the old ones that we're no longer using, and then we're going to add the new ones.
I don't believe that even we have the ability to delete a run card, a response plan table. So I think we'll have to note the plan number that's on the left.
Right here.
Yeah, and then we'll send the list from to Val that we're no longer using. So you would just compare this list to the spreadsheet that we send you to ensure that you have all of the run cards. It is a kind of a labor-intensive project, but we'd go through and we'd mark off abdominal pain alpha, abdominal pain bravo, abdominal pain Charlie. We just mark them off on our spreadsheet to ensure that we have all of the run cards, the nature codes added. And then we would build run cards for nature codes that we don't have, which we'll do next. And with
so we're trying to find out if you can actually print this list off so you can just compare it side by side versus looking at it on a computer screen.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly certain how to do it, but I know Val would know how and could help us with that. And probably Cheryl.
So should we move on to, you got one that we can add?
Let's build one. If you go to our spreadsheet.
So we'll be hopping back and forth. We'll try and go slow so you can stay with us. So we left Spillman. We came back to our Excel spreadsheet. And it looks like we need to add fire auto response for echo.
Yeah, so this would be where you determine what you want to respond to an echo. So we don't have that in our spreadsheet yet. It'll be added. So if you look at most of our echoes,
Let's see. We could probably use something similar to the fire outside, just we did not have DOL on it. This is where the agency would determine how many of your own units. I know I'm kind of repeating it again, but just to be clear, this is, so like for us, we haven't had this run card, so we're going to determine how many apparatus we want to send to this, and then we'll include that in the run card itself.
probably 3 engines and an ambulance
And a BC rig.
and a battalion chief. So for this example, we'll use the 3 engines, an ambulance, and a battalion chief. Is how we'll build the run card for Echo Wildland or Echo Auto Fire. A lot of times we can take the Pro QA book and see what exactly an Echo Fire Auto, what word triggers it. So somebody trapped in the vehicle would be my guess as to why it'd be an Echo over a Delta. So we'll build it for that.
You should be able to get that information from Central. They would have the list. So now we've determined what units we want to build this run card with. We're going to pop back over.
So we'll find the package.
Yep.
That 3 engine and ambulance package. What zone are you going to do this in?
I think we'll just stick with F1G. We've been working with F1G, so.
Perfect. So the responding units table is now, it gets confusing because we were in the response plan table. Now we're going to switch to a responding units table.
Yes. So now we're going to open this up based off Station 3. Just being fairly familiar with our run cards, we know that that's going to be ladder 13, engine 11, and then that's going to be engine 14 for us, in addition to medic 13, and then BC1 is who we want on the initial run card. So I know that those units are already put together somewhere in Spillman. So first I'll show you how to search to see if you already have a unit's number built together with those units, which is important. So we're not just creating multiple responding unit numbers all at once. And I'm sorry if the lingo or the jargon gets a little confusing here. We'll try and go slow and work through the process.
We'll I'll show you another spreadsheet that might help understand. And of course I closed it before we started this video. If you go to the district, you won't have this specific spreadsheet, but we built this spreadsheet for us that as we entered run cards, we just edited this document, and this kind of helps us keep track of our responders.
That's this column right here. We need to update just our unit number itself, which is a simple change here in the workbook, the Excel workbook, to ladder 13. But essentially, when we added the ladder, we changed it at the root in Spillman. So 109 would still be just the single number for ladder 13. Now, like this accident industrial delta, for these units you see listed here, ladder 13, engine 11, medic 13, and then BC1 the number is 853. So in that screen that I was showing you back here in Spillman, if I were to search right now, I just type in 853, you see those are the units that are come up and are listed under that response number. So then I would come into our response plan table, and then I would go into the run card I wanted to enter, and then enter 853. So we're going to actually do that for you, and we'll do it appropriately for the echo fire response on an auto fire. So now if I don't know the number, I would still come to the search screen, but rather than putting the record number up here, I would pop down into the unit, and I have to enter each individual unit to come up with that number. Now if you wanted to do a shortcut, you don't have to enter all of them at once. You could just enter like the first 3 or 4, and then I can do the hit enter, and then I will get a list of all the record numbers out there. So this can be one of those shortcuts to speed it up, and I can scroll through them all
and find the one you want.
Find the one you want. So did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think F3 is the button for accept, which I think
Sorry. Yeah, so there are some shortcuts you can hit. So like if I hit E, it takes me to exit. If I hit F, it takes me forward. B is back. M is modify. S is search, and add. So all the first letter will take you, and then if I hit F3, so like let's go exit, I hit F3, it's going to close this screen out completely, and then it's gone. So we'll open it back up, the responding units table, and we'll search. To begin with, it might just be simple to enter all of the individual units until you can get the hang of it. If you accidentally hit a button, you can just hit no and then enter and then continue on. So right now I'm just using the tab key, and then I'm typing in the actual number. For us, the BCs can be different, so sometimes the actual unit number is not the number that's recorded in Spillman. So instead of BC1, it's F1BC. And if you're ever unsure, you can open this screen up here to the right, and then you can start to type it. So F1BC, you can see, is the battalion chief group for KCFR. Then you would just hit accept. So now if I go F3, it accepts, and now it'll show me all of the ones in there. Similar as to before, but now I'm only searching, it'll only have those 5 units or more units in, if that makes sense. So there'll only be 5 units, the 5 units I'm looking for, or greater amount of units. I'll never have less. Versus if I just do the first 2 units, I'd get every run card with ladder 13 and engine 11.
So, John, for the example of this one,
Yep.
This one has medic 11 in it, so it's not one we want.
Correct. So now I would just hit F, pop to the forward key, and now I can scroll through.
This is a same as the last one.
So this is a perfect example of what we want to try and avoid, so we don't just have a lot of these numbers floating around out there in Spillman. This is a duplicate responding units record number that has been built in Spillman. So you can see that the order is different, but we still get the same response with these 2 run cards. We have ladder 13, engine 11, engine 14, medic 11, medic 13, and then BC1. And then if you look, we have the same units here. So we want to try and avoid this. This is how we're trying to teach you to search for those units first. And then if you don't find them with the record number, then you can go in and you can add and build it. Once again, this is the 3rd one where it's all similar. And that's okay. I mean, we have to realize that this goes back to the beginning of Spillman, that these record numbers have existed. So once again, this is not the appropriate. All right. So now this would be the right one that we would want. So we have all the units that we're looking for, although the order is not the same as I entered. Although the order is not the same that I entered, it still has the same 5 units that I was looking for. The 3 fire apparatus, the medic unit, and the BC. So now that I know this, I would write this number down. So I would write down the 1596. And I don't need to do anything further in this responding units table at this time. So I can hit E, enter, close it out. And then for now, we're going to enter the fire auto echo response into actual Spillman. So after I enter this run card will be up and running. So now we're going to come over here to add. If we were going to modify it, we would use the modify, and we'll take you through that here in a minute or two. We're going to hit add. Call type is going to be F because it's a fire run card.
Even our EMS nature codes have an F call type.
And then if you want, you can just type the whole thing in, or you can hit part of it in and then hit your drop down and it'll get you right. But you can see there is no echo. Hasn't been added. So we can't do this one. So
of course.
So in the nature code that would have needed to be added by Central.
Let's see if there's a see if fire wildland echo has been added.
We do have echo here.
We'll do the same response on that. The only difference normally would be is we're going to add Department of Lands.
So once again, just to review, call type F. So now we have switched gears on you, sorry. We're going to do the fire wildland echo. You don't need to worry about the determinant ID or the street, and we're just focused in on the zone. For us, we're going to do F1G. And then this is all the information that I need to add at this point. So then I can hit F3, accept. Now this run card has been added into Spillman for KCFR F1G. However, what I need to go in and do now is I need to add the appropriate response for that. We get to that screen by going to level. So I'm going to hit L twice. If you have I'm just using the shortcut on the keyboard since there's list and level. I have to do it twice and then it'll take me to it. And then I can hit enter in. Now I'm in the app. I'm going to build the actual alarm response. So we're creating the first alarm. That's the one I want here. I would tap down. Recommended units is no at this time. And then this is where I use that number that I got from the other screen. You see the responding. Alarm is 1. Recommended units is no. Sorry, I keep using my finger. I apologize. And then responding units record number. So we said we're going to do 1596. So at this time I enter 1596. And then I hit F3. So now we have our first alarm assignment for a fire wildland echo and F1G built in Spillman at this time. If you want to double check your numbers, you can come down here and double click this, and then it'll pull that up and it'll show you the units that are under that record number, and you can just confirm yourself that way. And then if I hit exit, I just back out of there and then we save it. You have anything to add to that?
No, I think the same process now for a second alarm.
Yep, so we can just walk through it real quick. We won't enter a number, but now if I want to...
we can.
Sure.
F1G. We'll use... so our second alarms are always 2 engines, an ambulance, another battalion chief. So for us, for this zone, I'm going to have John try to find us 2 engines. So we're going to do engine 12. And let's just pick engine 522, medic 11, BC 5. And then we attach our duty chief, so just so they're aware that we have a second alarm going. So engine 12, engine 522, medic 11, BC 5, and our duty chief page. That's what we're going to have John enter as our second alarm.
Okay, so to find that again, just to review, we're going to go to the responding units table. We're going to search. We're going to come down here, engine 12, engine 522, F5BC, and then, all right, so perfect. So we didn't find any actual records with these units being built. So now what I can do is I can add. So then to add, we're going to make this record number. This is going to be record number 2189. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to double click the detail, and then it's going to pop up this little sub screen down here. I would hit add again, and now I do the units that I want to enter. So engine 12, enter, add another one. Engine 522, enter, add another one. The BC, enter, add another one, and then F1 BC. Oh, apologize, but you got to add medic 11. All right. So now we exit out of here. You can see that Spillman populates it back up here in the responding units table, and then these 5 units are now tied to record number 2189, so write that down or remember it. F3 saves it in Spillman, exit. We exit that screen. Now under the response plans table, I'm just going to hit add. You see that down here, it added a second alarm. Once again, recommended units is no. And then responding unit record number, that's the number that we just built, 2189. You save it. Once again, if you want to double check yourself, you can double click on it, and then it brings up those numbers or those units, and you can see them here listed. We can just exit out of there. And we can exit out of there, and now you have 2 alarms. If you want to go through the alarms and see what you have, I can go to the back. It takes me to the first alarm. Forward would take me to the second alarm, and then every alarm after that if we had more.
While we're here, John, just because we switched to wildland fire, I want to add Department of Land's unit number to the first alarm assignment. So if we could just backtrack a bit, we made a mistake, so let's show them how to.
Yeah, so responding units table, we need to open that again because that's going to change the record number, because we're going to add a separate well, at this point it'll be an entity with Department of Lands into that, so we need to go through and see if we have a run card built for that. So once again, we're going to search, and we were, let's see if I have my notes here, we did the ladder, 13, engine 14, engine 11, medic 13, and then DOL. Okay, so we have one built with 2 medic units, and that looks like we have one built, but it has 2 medic units in it. So now we're going to need to add one. So, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong command there. Open our table back up. Add. Once again, we're going to create this. Our new record number is going to be 2190. Open, double click detail, and then add ladder 13. And then DOL. So now we have this run card built. We're going to write down 2190. We close that screen out. Now we're going to pop back over, and I'm going to take you guys, like, your chief came to you and he said that he wanted this run card changed. So we're going to start from the very top. So how you would do that is you would come back into the response plans table. Then we would search. Under our Fire Wildland E, F1G, I hit F3, it pulls it up. Then you see this screen. You can look over here. You have 2 alarms built on this. We're in the right zone. We have the right run card. To get back to our alarm assignments, we hit L twice, go to level, enter. And now we wanted to modify our first alarm assignment, which is down here. So then we hit modify, enter, tab, tab, and then we come down here and we enter that new number 2190, F3, it's saved, and where you've completed that run card and updated it.
Perfect. Let's see what else is on our list. So how to enter, how to change the units table, how to see what run cards that you currently have. We went over that, and now we'll do cover units. So cover units, we use cover units by zone. So we'll get out of the response plan table, and we'll go into the cover unit table. So again, over here, cover units, we can search by zone, so we'll hit search. Let's search by our same zone we've been doing. So anytime engine 14 is assigned to a call, if they're on another call, this is the list in priority order of which units will cover them.
Be ladder 13. Correct?
No, so this is covering engine 14.
I'm following you, sorry. Yep,
so, and we do that for every unit that could be assigned in F1G. So, for example, the run card that we just built for Wildland Fire, it had 522, engine 14, ladder 13, medic 13. If 522 was already on a call, so it's the covered unit, they're already on a call, so they're not going to be able to go to that run card. The next one would be engine 3. So engine 3, if they're already on a call, the next one will be engine 2, engine 721, and so on. And you can make these however you'd like. So we do one for every unit that is on a first and second alarm assignment in our zones, and we just build them out. This one doesn't look like we've hit all the units in this zone. I've been contemplating removing the zone and just having a cover unit for each unit number. So no matter what zone it's in, if, for example, medic 13 is on a call, it's always medic 11, medic 52, medic 32, medic 31, 51, because it shouldn't really matter what zone the call's in, that the cover units, because we can go deep on cover units. So let's add one in here for let's add for engine 721. No, let's add for.
We could just probably take them through the process and not save it.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to add a cover unit. So let's just say this is ladder 13's primary zone. So we're just going to make a F1G, and we're going to cover ladder 13. So the list that we're about to create is going to cover anytime ladder 13 is on a call. We're going to now create the order and sequence that we want cover units to come. So in this case,
typically based off location and response to that area.
Yeah, geographical.
You can build it how you would like, whether you're going to use a reserve apparatus or you have a frontline apparatus that you want to cover this unit.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, ladder 13 is on a call, so I need to build the list. So I would say engine 11 would be our second choice. I hit enter. Then I hit add again with an enter key, and my next choice, I'm going to do engine 14. Enter. If engine 14 is busy or on the same call, I want engine 12. If engine 12's busy, maybe they're assigned to the same call. Let's say this is for a structure fire, an F1G, so all these units are already assigned. I'll go engine 522. Engine 522 is on a call. Let's go engine 3. Oh, F3E3 is, I believe, how they correlate this. F3E3. If engine 3 is on a call, let's say I want engine 721. Engine 721 is on a call. Let's go to Hayden. And you can do this as deep as you want. I'm making these up just for the sake of building this to show you, but you can go as deep as you want. But it's that easy. So now I hit F3 just to make sure it's saved. Exit out. And now I would hit F3 right now, and that would save this order. So anytime ladder 13 is on a call in F1G or anywhere, and there's another call that's requesting ladder 13 in F1G, it'll be covered by these. That makes sense? It's kind of confusing at first. I'm going to cancel out of this. So that's cover units. Anything else we haven't covered? Cover units. There are some shortcuts. I find when I'm entering run cards, I don't like to use the mouse. Really, because you can go pretty fast just by using the A or the L, the list. M. So if I want, let's see, I want to search. Tab takes you over, so I want to search all fire calls with the nature code of, we know fire auto, so auto accident, motor vehicle deltas, and tab, I want to search for F1G, F3 is accept, and then L, enter, shows me that we have two motor vehicle accident deltas, which we shouldn't have. So level 1, and then I hit V, spacebar 12, enter, shows me the units that are assigned to that, exit, enter, go down, now that's my level 2, V, spacebar 12, shows me the responding units, E, enter. If I wanted to modify the responding units record number right here, hit M, spacebar, 12. Now I can change it. So those are just some of the shortcuts I use when I'm doing it. Exit. The last one is CD units tab. Over in this menu, I'm not sure where it's at. I've found it over here before, but you can type in CD unit, enter, and this will show you all of the fire and EMS apparatus unit numbers that are for your agency, and we've actually been working pretty hard to get this cleaned up. So if I go to agency and do KCFR, and then either accept or F3, and then list up here at the top, these are all of the unit numbers in Spillman assigned to KCFR. And there's a lot of them that we don't use anymore, and we've been trying to get those cleaned up. So for example, engine 122 right here, we don't use that anymore. I would make a note and send it to Val. We don't have the ability to delete units, and typically you don't want to delete them because they still have records tied to them. So we would merge it with another unit. or retire it. So it keeps the records with it, but then it would no longer show on our active unit screen. And this was a big issue when we were trying the closest unit, the closest unit module in Spillman. That's not working right now. So anyway, you can go in here and try to clean some of this stuff up. Just make a note of which ones you don't use anymore, what you want to merge it into, or if you want to retire it, and then you can send that list to Val. You got anything else, John?
I don't think so. I mean,
so feel free as you guys start doing these to contact us if you need any assistance or have any questions. If we didn't hit anything, I'll put our email addresses up here. Jonathan.
yeah,
So you can email John. What's your phone number, John?
509. One of those guys.
One of those. 509
703 2611.
So feel free to email or call John or myself, and we'd be more than happy to help you get through this. That's it.
I think the biggest thing is kind of once you get going and kind of work through it a little bit, you kind of figure it out, and then you build the rhythm for yourself, and you kind of figure out the shortcuts that work for you. So yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. Just give us a shout.
All right. Hopefully this worked and it recorded.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it again. All right. Feel free to look us up if you need help. Thank you.